tonight, due to a lot of reasons, I only have time to talk about one comic book that I took time to read, and that's the new Green Lantern series. So once again, starting over. Not completely. It starts off because I haven't paid attention to any of the Green Lantern books or what have you. Apparently the Guardians are missing. And the United Planets, which I thought was an entity that happens late in the future, but maybe they have a version of it now, what have you, is basically in charge of the Green Lantern Corps. They've given different sectors for the human Green Lanterns, and Hal Jordan's not crazy about that, so he stays home. And apparently there's some sort of quarantine about his sector and Earth, I guess, because of all the superheroes. I don't know. But this was the cover art for it. There he is. And there's Carol. Looks like Kilowog will show up, but he's got a hoodie. Sinestro looming over. And, of course, planes, because Hal Jordan's a test pilot. So, right off the bat, it kind of jumps through time. But here is him back in action as Green Lantern for Earth. And he rescues these miners who are trapped in a collapsed mine. And so there he goes, hey guys, and all this stuff. And he's very much the local superhero for Coast City, of course. And everyone's rather happy to see him and all that sort of thing. And it looks like it's going for this, with the scenario setup, that he's going to mostly be on Earth and not have a whole lot of his space adventures, at least not immediately. Of course, then again, the next issue could jump into outer space. But I kind of wondered while I was reading it if this was a nod to the approach that the DCU under James Gunn is approaching. A Green Lantern, where it'll be this series, not a film, but he said it'll be a terrestrial based story, leaning towards the aspects of True Detective. Whereas here it'll be Hal Jordan and John Stewart pursuing a mystery on Earth that has far more dire consequences for the overall shared universe narrative that they're trying to craft and that sort of thing. Immediately, I assumed that this was a way to do something cheap, because Green Lantern would be a very expensive character to do. But if you can limit him in a story that doesn't require too many superpowered episodes or what have you, then they might be. And if you craft it well, you can pull that off. But it's a bit of a letdown for such a spacefaring superhero. But he does come home from time to time and save people, and cats from trees and all that. But so I don't know, but it just seems like after that announcement and how long this was in the works for this to happen, to have this new team on it and everything. But anyway, the book overall is not bad. It's it's a jumping on point, which I figured, okay, I'll give it a shot and see what's going on here. He's trying to just get his old life back. He wants to go be a test pilot again. I guess he's been in space too long, because this is the glorious abode of one of the great founding members of the Justice League. But it is what it is. And so, oh no, there's a problem in Coast City, and he can't resist, because that's the type of guy he is. He cannot say goodbye to his superheroism. So there's some guy trashing the town, and there's everybody fleeing their cars and leaving it there. The police are pretty much powerless to this guy, and he calls himself Still Fury, and he's just, showing off and whatnot. But there's a bit of something. Hal attacks him and then discovers that this is actually one of the Manhunters. I know something of Green Lantern, and he apparently bought it on a knockoff of eBay. So that was kind of fun. And couldn't get it to work, and then it starts working, and he's got this powerful suit and everything. So Hal has to take him down, but he's like, well, why is that here, and that sort of thing. So I'm imagining the Manhunters will make their appearance at some point. He does get of course, Carol can't, she knows against her better judgment she should say no to him, but she decides get him a job, And he ends up wrecking one of her planes. Well, this is one of the drone-like planes. It's a robot plane that he's controlling it from afar, but a plane nonetheless gets destroyed because he's still, an arrogant hothead at times. I'm skipping around. That's right, because it does jump back and forth in time in the story, that kind of thing. So, it opens with the rescue in the mine, but that's actually later, and so on and so forth, about his decision to get back in the game as Green Lantern as well as a test pilot. So he's basically just fighting the guy with a stick. But he's painted the face red, and when he hits him with, a crowbar or what have you, it scrapes off the red paint, and you can see the actual silver face of a manhunter. And he's telling him, you need to get out of that suit. And I'm going to get out of nothing, because he's all happy. Now I'm going to be somebody. I got powers. And so Hal Jordan does a quick change, and he's like, who are you? And he take a wild guess. Yeah. So next, a plane explosion. The demolition team strikes and meet Carol's fiance. Oh, yeah, she's got a fiance. You think that's going to work out? And then there's a backup story with John Stewart. He is going back home as well. He goes back to check on his mom and all of that. And then it jumps. It says another universe, another time, and this is easily an alternate a timeline or universe or what have you. And there's an old Guy Gardner, and then there's this new Green Lantern who's he's brand new to the job, and they're being attacked by, it looks like the Black Lanterns, but it might be another universe, different version of them type thing. And this new kid is like, what do I do? And they got different terms for their power battery and all that sort of stuff, but they even have a different oath. It says, the torch that batters back the night, I am the lantern in the dark, let evil cower in the light. And all who wear the lantern's marks. It's very different from the usual one, and you could see his old man Guy Gardner, and his outfit's very different. And never would have thought I'd see him with a ponytail man bun thing. But anyway, they get attacked by the enemy, and they're called the Revenant rather than the Black Lantern, so it's like an alternate universe version of them. And so, where is thy master, the one thou callest builder and guardian? Bring me John Stewart. So John Stewart is apparently in this universe the main leader of this group. And but so I don't know if that previous is that the John Stewart of this universe, or is he the John Stewart of the main universe, and they're going to mistake him for that one, or he'll maybe their John Stewart is dead. I don't know. So, or his world burns at the hands of the Revenant Queen. So there you go. So that's the cliffhanger for this backup story with John Stewart. And somehow he'll factor into this alternate reality story, which he may or may not be a part of. We just don't know at this point. I'm thinking he's the real John Stewart from the main universe, and he's going to get sucked into this story. So maybe his story will be more space-age stuff, whereas Hal Jordan, will be on Earth fighting supervillains and trying to get Carol, back with him. So there you go. It's not bad. It's just a reintroduction. There's some of the same patterns and whatnot to other reboots, like Rebirth itself and stuff like that, about him and Carol and that sort of thing. But what do you expect? Every time they redo something, they redo it. It's the same material. So, depending on what angles they take it from and all that, whether or not it can seem new or fresh or what have you, possibly. But really, just any title that just does a fairly decent adventure, it immediately makes it seem top-notch, because of the sorry state comic books, or rather superhero comic books, are in at the moment. So I'll give it a shot. I'll check it out. And there's nothing in here said, ugh, drop this. Quite the opposite. So we'll see how this goes. But anyway, there you go for this brief episode of Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday Comics. Green Lantern.